Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller. And today we're going to be doing a what sold video for last week, Monday through Thursday, which would be August 4th through the 7th. And my sales were still very, very pitiful. In fact, that Monday would have been the worst selling day of my entire year, probably my entire career for at least many years. And then I had another bad one. So
worse than that?
Worse than that one.
So you broke your record twice?
Yeah, twice in like 2 weeks. I mean, in like a week. So yeah, something was up. That's all I can say. Something was up because whatever they were doing, I think they're done, because the last 4 days, my sales have been normal. Not grand, but normal, my normal. So hopefully, fingers crossed, at this point, sales are just going to continue to get better and better as we're heading into fourth quarter. Because usually, once kids are back in school, August, September, the next shift in parents' minds is Christmas. So we will see.
Since we've done our last What Sold video, we have to do the What Sold. We do What Sold and we do hauls. The hauls are sometimes like recorded a week, 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks in advance.
Sometimes the day they need to come out.
It's been a while since we've done that, but the next one's going to have to be that way maybe. Now,
yes,
we're one ahead. Because we're one ahead on hauls because I'm a day behind in getting it released.
We didn't get if you haven't noticed, there was no video to get out yesterday like it was supposed to, because
I was getting ready for a whatnot show.
Yes.
I had shipments to do.
Yes.
I was helping RJ make sure everything was lined up with getting into the dual enrollment for his English class for his last year of high school.
So you weren't being a slack-a-lacker.
He was applying for a job at Publix,
yes,
which is different because it's all online. And they had like little scenarios to run through. I was watching him do that, like little customer service. I was watching him do that. So yesterday was a very full day. And then we had the Whatnot show last night.
Yes.
So it was a very full day. So, sometimes things sort of get pushed aside, and that's the way life is.
Yeah.
That's all my lame excuses for not having the video last night.
We will be having our next Whatnot show on Sunday for plush. Not all of this, but as I'm sorting, I'm just throwing them in there. I'm going to put up a new system because, frankly, I don't like that it's blocking my wall. So I'm going to figure out another place to put all this stuff while I sort. I'll go ahead and share some of the sales that I had on Etsy and in my main eBay store, and then in our new eBay store. We actually had 3 in the new store, which, slowly but surely, it's getting a little bit better and a little bit better. I'm not trying to overwhelm that store very quickly. I'm doing, 3 to 5 a day, somewhere in there. And I'm wanting it to grow slowly, without some major push of some kind. Let me go ahead and show you some of the stuff that I sold, but it ain't a lot, y'all. It's not a lot at all.
Did you eat?
I did eat. Did I pay my bills? Yes, I did.
So we're all right.
First sale was on Etsy, was this Care Bears pillowcase. I think this is the same place. It was like a impromptu estate sale while the family was clearing out a house. It's where I bought all of the corn on the cob dishes. That's all I remember. It was just folded up somewhere. It was this pillowcase from 2002. Really nice condition. Sold for $19.95 on Etsy. And then this Lissy doll from West Germany. So that kind of gives you a date on it. Definitely vintage. On Etsy, sold for $49.95. And then eBay. All right. If you're new to my channel, I don't do free shipping. So when I tell you that something sold for $10, the buyer also has paid shipping. I have flat rate shipping for everything under a pound based on the weights. The tiers of the shipping weights that the post office uses. Everything over a pound, we do pass on our shipping discounts that eBay gives us to our buyers. So, you know, it's whatever based on their zip code. I had somebody make a comment in one of my recent videos about the prices that I'm telling you this sold for. Yes, these are pre fees. You know, that's just part, we all know there's a set amount that's automatically going to eBay. And, you know, it's not that I'm not going to sit here and figure it out. I'm not going to figure it out. I don't know why I'm staring at this camera, but I'm not going to figure out exactly how much I made. Every once in a while we do a breakdown for you, but you know, we've talked about this and we're going to do it again. Somebody asked if we had done another one for this past year. You know, everything I talk about, bread and butter, $8 to $12. Yes, some things sell for even less than that. But I make a lot of money selling bread and butter. You know, if you're the type that only wants to list stuff that you make $25 or more, you know, we all have our business plans. I'm good with a $10 sale. So just to kind of clear that up. But the first thing I'm going to share with you from eBay were these Old Navy women's bootcut jeans. They've been listed a year. I got a $10 offer. They're gone. All right, I had just added like 2 pieces to this lot. I'd taken the original listing down. Oh, actually, you can see right here in the second photo. This was the original listing. And then I added these other pieces. Y'all, it sold almost within a few, like one day. These are accessories to the Lala Loopsy dolls. Y'all, those are, I pass them up all the time. The big 12-inch dolls. Some reason they're hot right now. Go in, not all of them like everything else there, but there are some that are selling for over $100. So go on eBay and refamiliarize yourself with the Lala Loopsy dolls. And maybe, fingers crossed, you'll find some out there in the wild. I looked today. Nope, nothing. But this lot of like 5 little things sold for $17.95, like I said, in one day. All right, these were some bamboo stainless flatware that I had picked up at a school sale. I paid $20, but it was this bamboo stuff. It was also mixed in with some Oneida stuff. It really ended up being an excellent pickup. These 7 salad forks sold for $26.95. North Alabama Tigers snapback hat. Been listed forever, and it just seems funny. All of a sudden, something sells, and it sold at my sale price, not even the 30% or 40% discount that we would have been sending out on it for offers, but it sold for $23.35.
It's mid-August. Football season's here.
Yep.
College football's about to start up, and fans are getting their gear on.
Looking for their stuff. Yep. All right, this next one is an Eden Oshkosh Bagosh Bear. Y'all, this was from that high bid estate sale that I won when we first started this channel. Lots and lots of advertising plush. This particular bear sold for $15.25. Gap Easy Fit men's jeans. You know, it is what it is. They had definite wear, and they sold for $15. This was from the Snoopy lot that I won last year. With one item, I doubled the price of what I paid for it. So everything has been pure profit from this point. And so now at this point, when I get an offer, as long as it's not ridiculous, I'm accepting it. I sold this little vinyl clip bag and some minifigures for $10. One of Robert's books that he picked up, it was called Moving the Earth, Workbook of Excavation, sold for $18. Chalkware, picked up a bunch of this several years ago, listed some of it, put the rest in my profit pile, and finally forced myself last year to finish listing all of it. At this point, I'm way into the profit on this, so again, if I get a decent offer, I'm going to go ahead and accept it. I accepted a $16 offer on these two 1987 Howard Miller chalkware swans. All right, Rubber Lion squeak ball. You know, you never know what people are going to collect. Anytime it looks vintage to me, I'm pretty much going to list it. Sold for an $8 offer. Christmas white bear plush. The brand was PJ Toys. Nothing I've ever heard of. It got picked up because it's cute and Christmassy, and it sold for an offer of $12. Dreamsicles. This was a Ben's pickup. I don't normally pick up like the Dreamsicle figurines. There's probably some worth picking up. I'm just not into the little figures, but this one was cute. 1998, had its paper tag, sold for $8.96. American Eagle, destroyed. Robert's pickup. Jeans, big old holes right there in the knee. Sold for our sale price of $17.71. That's all the style. I walk anywhere, Walmart, you know, out. Everybody's wearing these huge holey jeans. Not me. Not my thing. I'm too old for that. All right, Mattel Handy Manny tool replacements. This goes to that musical toolbox. Found one recently. I decided not to pick it up. I'm just not into the bigger stuff anymore. But I knew I did have these, but not all of them. So, you know, it would have just kind of been, you know, an incomplete set. But these 4 replacement tools sold for $15. These are easy things that I pick up at the bins if I see them. All right, Not Your Daughter's Jeans. Black, size 16, sold for $20. Scooby-Doo plush. This is from Toy Factory. Not my favorite brand, but they do put out a lot of character plush, so I tend to still pick it up. This Scooby sold for $12.10.
If you could spend 3 days alone at home, unplugged from the phone, TV, and computer, how would you spend your time?
I couldn't. I'm going to be honest with you. I watch no TV, but...
She watches 14 hours of Facebook Reels every day.
I do not, but, you know, I need internet to do my job. I guess I could, you know what? Probably I would sit out here and take pictures and sort and do an image.
No, you can't, because you take pictures with your phone.
Oh, true.
Denied.
See, I couldn't. I couldn't. I couldn't be that unplugged from technology.
I would build our deck.
Well,
however,
you would need YouTube videos to do it. So
I would need a lot of YouTube videos to know what the heck I'm doing.
Fail. You know, you just can't. These days, you need technology.
Honestly,
I could do without being on Facebook. I could do without the Facebook Reels or, you know, YouTube. Maybe not Whatnot. I'm addicted to Whatnot right now. Just watching. But, you know, I need the internet and my phone to do my job. So it's not possible. Is there anybody out there who could be without for 3 days?
I could do it. I would work on a puzzle.
Yeah.
But eventually, I would kind of get tired of working on the puzzle. I'd probably have to, 3 days, I'd probably break out a book. There are some books I have that I want to read that I have like physical copies of, but I never take time to read the physical copies because I like them, but I would honestly rather listen to a podcast or a book. I'm listening to some Robert Heinlein right now. Good stuff. I enjoy them. Kind of old-timey, sci-fi stuff. But I do that while I'm working on puzzles or something like that. Or packing stuff in the morning or whatever. Something that doesn't require like 100% of my attention. I enjoy it. It's kind of like reading, but I get other stuff done at the same time.
Yeah.
So we're hosed.
Yeah, that ain't happening. Because of Winn-Dixie, this was a recent pickup pretty sure from the bins. It was from 2004, sold for $26.95. Yeah, I didn't know. These sold, again, I think the same day I listed them. These were in the bins. They were called Gans Soft Spot Mini Plush. I showed one, and then I found another one, and then I found the third one, all from the same bag. Decided to put them all together. Sold, same day I listed them, for a $33 offer. Chico Play Yard replacement. This was in my massive profit pile stuff that I worked on at the beginning of last year. Just processed tons of smalls that I had just set aside, never gotten to. Really made for probably the best year of reselling that I ever did. I got rid of a bunch, not rid, but I processed and got them off the shelves and into my inventory. So, I encourage you, if you've got mountains and, just letting them accumulate, at some point you need to pick a tote. Pick something and get it processed. It's just really freeing of just the clutter of physical inventory, but just clutter in your mind. So I'm so glad that I took the time to do that. But this little replacement zebra to a Chico Play Yard, $8.96. All right, bought a bunch of My Little Pony stuff at an estate sale last year. And they had some condition issues. As you can see, there was some discoloration even after I tried to clean them. Got a $25 offer on this one and went ahead and accepted it. Mary Meyer Dinosaur Lovey sold for $8.96. I am partial and biased to picking up most Loveys as long as they're in good condition. But a lot of them, are bread and butter, and they take a while. Fisher Price, it actually probably should have said Great Adventures. No, not Great, Adventure People series. These were from the 70s, these little skinny figures. But this was a kayak from the 318 set, sold for $13.45. Pretty sure it was a bins pickup. Road Champs Dino Hunter Jeep. Been listed since last summer. Got an $11 offer and went ahead and accepted it. Another Lovey, Blankets and Beyond Gray Raccoon, sold for $17.95. This was a cute bunny. Had these really unique pink eyes and nose, kind of pearlescent almost. Small, 6-inch, sold for $13.45. And last but not least, no grand slams or anything to share with you, but this was another sold, took about 6 days. It is an IKEA hair plush. It had some stuffing issues. They were starting to disintegrate. Normally I list them a little bit higher, but because, it needs to be restuffed. Maybe somebody doesn't care. And I was surprised it sold very, very quickly. So, sometimes if you've got these types of issues, don't be afraid to list it. Just, pick the price at the lower end. You never know. It might sell in like 6 days, $8.96. Now let me show you the 2 things that sold in the other store. First thing that sold was this Disney Pooh women's denim shirt. I picked this up at a churchyard sale for, I want to say $1. And it sold on an offer for $13. And then this Old Navy women's tiered dress from, I don't even remember. I think this might have been a bins pickup. So we wouldn't probably have maybe $2 in it. No, not even that much because it's being shipped for under a pound. It also sold on an offer for $13. And last but not least were these American Eagle women's distressed, very distressed, boho artist flared jeans, sold for $22.21. All right, hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope your sales are starting to show, some normalcy. In my Discord, somebody made a comment, I think yesterday or today, that, anybody else seeing a pickup, and several people agreed. So I'm hoping it's just not a fluke and we're going to hit the bottom of the barrel again with sales. But it is what it is, right?
Dear eBay, leave your stuff alone until
Leave it
January.
alone.
Until January at least. Quit fixing things that aren't broken.
I noticed on the app there's a new offer button. If you scroll down on your screen, it's like to manage your automated offers. I'm not doing automated offers on eBay. That's where when you're sending out offers, you click that button and it's going to go ahead and continue to send those offers to anybody who watches. Sometimes I might not want to do that. Sometimes, like for us, I send out 30% offers and he might send out 50% offers. And so I don't want that. Also, when you have the automated offers turned on, if you go on time away, you're going to have issues because it's continuing to send it out.
Would it? You would think that it would stop because you're on time away, but eBay's going to do it wrong.
Yeah, I think somewhere I'm thinking that was right. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me in the comments. But
it's not just offers on watchers; it's people that look at it, isn't it? I
think so. Yeah. Anybody who looks at it, it's going to keep sending offers for you. But if I have a 10% sale going, I will send 10, 20, 30% offers. But if I was to change it and do a 30% sale, I don't want them to continue sending that 30% offer off of that item. You know what I mean?
And the way I send offers is it's based on the date code in our custom SKU. Mm-hmm. I have 3, 6, 12, and 24 months is what I change my offer, the percent I send based on those timelines, and it's just automatic. It's 6 months old, it gets this percent. And it's a math problem. I don't worry about the emotion that this wonderful lady puts on her inventory.
Yeah. All right, y'all. It's time to get to work. Bye.